What's up, guys? It's Tyler with High Crucible Steels. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Thursday night. We are back on the stone and at the work table, guys. Yesterday we sharpened this Smock S30V by Spyderco. Did really amazing results. Went all the way up to a 1000 grit stone, but we did not finish what we intended on finishing. So we want to refine this a little bit more, and how we're going to do that is I want to use a 1200 grit Venev bonded diamond stone. So it's a resin bonded stone. I want to go ahead and refine it with that. We'll show all of that, and we'll also jump on the 2000 grit for a few passes as well, and we'll see what the grit pattern looks like as we go along. Let me go ahead and get all that set up, and we'll catch you on the stone here shortly. Alright, to start with, we're going to get this guy out of the way, and we're going to throw on our resin bonded stone real quick. All that required is for us to go ahead and screw that off, move this down a little bit further, and you can use the right side here. Move it real close and then bring the washers in, and this does take a second, but you do not need both of the nuts screwed in. As you'll see, this does just fine. Always have some water handy. I'm gonna eat my own words here, guys. I didn't grab what I needed the first time around. Alright guys, we're gonna go ahead and get back into it. Hopefully you guys can see me here on the screen. I went ahead and prepped the stone with a little bit of water. Use what you got is what I always say. So that's what we're gonna do here. Alright, find our angle again. Once we find that angle, we definitely want to lock in today more than ever. Also gonna just go ahead and take a look, see what the actual angle feels like. It's very low, let's just say that. Once again, I always have to remind you guys and myself that you don't need a lot of pressure with your higher grit stones. You just don't. With your coarser stones, sure, at times, especially when you're reshaping an edge, but as far as fine-tuning it and polishing it, refining it, and the higher grits, you just don't need a lot of pressure. Using the water that I took to work today, a water bottle from the same water bottle. Anybody with me there? Use what you got. That's my motto. You don't need a lot of stone. Just like this one right here, it's not wide, it's only an inch wide. Standard 1x6 for a fixed angle sharpener, and you just don't need a lot of width. Yes, the width makes it easier, in my opinion. Sure, certainly, definitely will. But I can have two uses for this stone now. And you always want to have a use for it. As far as freehand sharpening, that's another good reason to know how to freehand sharpen, or at least learn how. It's such an amazing tool to have in your pocket that only requires you practice a little bit. That's all it takes. This knife edge is a very small, slight curve, so you want to let the knife do its own rounding. There's not much elbow lift, especially with this narrow, so you let the stone round the edge versus your elbow. You just don't need the lift as much. With the more drop point or clip point blade edges, yes, you would need to do more of an elbow lift, but for this, not quite the same concept. You just let the stone do the work. As always, the stone just does the work. Alright, I think this is just as good a time as ever to check that bevel microscopically. So that's what we're going to do real quick. And we're going to do that with the old iPad, because that's just going to make things much easier all the way around for me, and hopefully for you guys as well. Alright, connect to the Wi-Fi. And we are on like Donkey Kong. Alright, so first couple of pictures. I hope you guys can see this. If not, I will check here shortly. Alright, so these are the new scratch pattern from, actually this is from the strop yesterday. So those light scratches you see there, those are from yesterday. So now we'll look at the side that we just sharpened. Yes, this is the side that we just sharpened. Alright, so we're looking good as far as the knife pattern. Those lines, as you can see, is getting tighter and tighter. Let's see. As far as a bevel goes, or a burr goes, we are not looking for a burr. We're just looking to refine whatever bit of a burr is left over at this point. So what I'm looking for is just a little wire rim that's very small, microscopic. Right, so I do believe we can continue sharpening, at least for now. Let you guys see my lovely face again. Oh, there I am. Wash the old slurry off. I'd like you guys to be able to get an image of what I'm doing here. There are two different directions and one angle that I'm using right now. First direction is obvious, it's left to right, but there's also up and down movement of the blade on the stone, and all that is controlled at an angle. But there's also a horizontal angle, and then there is a vertical angle as well, and that vertical angle is about the tip of your blade. This stone is really just getting us used to this smooth type of sharpening, the fine grit stone sharpening. It just gets you stuck in your ways, your muscle memory ways, which is actually a good thing. Helps with your muscle memory. It's good practice. Alright, we are going to flip over the bevel. What is everybody doing on the weekend after a big holiday? What's everybody's plans? I know everybody's probably still vacationing this past week. I didn't go on a vacation this year. In years past, always having to place it Lake Gaston, we would always avoid going to the lake on the 4th weekend, and on Memorial Day weekend, and on Labor Day, and any of those big holidays because of the traffic. And not only the traffic getting up there on 95, but also once you get down there on the boat itself, all of those people that are out there on the boat. And we were skiers, we were big skiers, water skiers, so we were there for the smooth water and not the choppy water. So we didn't really care for those weekends necessarily. Not to say it's not well, good, and fun. I am all about celebrating, especially this great country that we live in. But I also don't mind just chilling and relaxing at the house. You know what I mean? I think most people in their 30s understand that sentiment quite well. And that's what I've been doing pretty much. We do have a pool in our community that we go to and have been taking the kiddos, my nephew and my niece, and they love it. They're 7 and 5 and just now getting brave enough to jump off the diving board and yell cannonball, and it's just super cute, super fun age. We're going to take another look. Alright, so the scratch pattern is much more consistent. It looks good. Let's see here. We do have the makings of, what is that? There's quite a weird substance that's on the edge of my knife bevel here that looks like what should be a burr, but I think it's hair. Some kind of human hair, maybe. Like my hair. Weird. You know what? Guys, full disclosure here. Obviously last night when I got done sharpening, I used it to shave my arm, and now it's in my slurry. So, back to the video. Yeah, it gets weird. Alright, all jokes aside, it was looking pretty good. I think I am going to go ahead and move right on over to my Shapton 2000. And it comes with its own stone stand holder, whatever you want to call it. Pump some good water on there. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. That's the good stuff. We don't waste that stuff. Not around here, Jack. Alright, come in with the reinforcement. Alright, we're going to start on this side over here again. I do like the width of a good stone. It just makes it feel better. It is easier, seems to be anyway. I'm back! And it gives me the opportunity to really show off what I'm doing here. This stone, I can really feel more on it than I could with the Venev, but it is a 2000 grit stone, so there's no way that the Venev could be, I don't know though. It's an F400 Venev, and usually with resin bonded stones you can pretty much know that that's going to be a lot higher than it actually says. F400 is more like a 1200 grit stone. It's kind of weird, and it gets more complicated than even that when you go to talk about microns and the conversion charts, and yeah, knife nerd stuff. which I enjoy. I enjoy learning stuff like that. It is good to be well versed in everything that you immerse yourself into, like subject of knife sharpening, which is what this channel is all about, learning how to sharpen knives better and alternative ways to do it and easier ways to do it, and also just in general collecting knives. I do have a really cool knife that's on the way. I just ordered it. It is a Konou, I don't know how you pronounce that, K-O-N-O-U knives, and it is a Chad XT lock. So it has an axis lock, basic titanium with a PM60 blade steel, which is what drove me to buy it. I saw it in action, and the edge retention on the PM60 steel is unreal, almost unfathomable. And the factory edge is sharp enough to cut paper like swirls. It's just unreal. So very excited about that, and I will have that on the channel here soon. I'll do a review after I have it in my pocket for a week or two. I'll go ahead and switch it up. There's also one more stone I haven't tried yet out of my collection, and it's another Shapton stone in this very series that I'm on right now. It's a 5,000 grit purple grapefruit stone. It's a beautiful stone. Hasn't been used yet, so that means it also hasn't been broken in at all. Alright, let's just see what we got here so far. Checking the burr on a fine grit stone is hard to do because there is hardly much burr to look for. You're looking more for the edge lines. You want those to be straight and very narrow. As you can see, mine has a little bit of a facet to it. The way I sharpen, whenever I pull back, somehow I have a little bit of a curve to it, which is why I usually try and do forward passes so I can figure out that kink. Because this side is the pull, and it's much better. It's actually the push that I do that little turn. But you can see these lines are much straighter, but the grit pattern is still there the same. This is what's on the edge of my knife bevel. Try to make that clear as possible for you guys. That's about it right there. You can still see some of those hairs on the edge there. That's how fine this edge is. It's literally, those big things there are hairs, so that's pretty cool. I am going to go ahead and strop this down a little bit. Nothing crazy. Just going to hit it with a 6 micron suede side. Get rid of whatever hair is on it, and quickly test the sharpness on a piece of paper. Okay, we still have that same sharpness that we had off the 1200 grit stone, so I'm not really worried about that too much. I do want to hit this a few more times on both sides. Ooh, bleeding a little bit, guys. Always make sure you clean up after you're done, especially if you're bleeding. I'll throw a band-aid on that here shortly. Matter of fact, I'll do that right now so you guys don't have to see that. I know YouTube is strict on certain ways. Alright guys, I decided that I would just drop it a few times. That's exactly what I'm going to do, and I already have done. I'm going to show you the finished 1 micron for a few passes, just so you know exactly how to run a knife down a strop. Kind of try to achieve that same angle that you sharpened on. And yeah, pretty much what you are ending up with there. A beautiful shined mirror polish from the naked eye. It is not microscopically mirror, but that is a hard ask unless you get into like 15,000 grits. And anyway, it's a very nicely sharpened knife in my opinion. I'm gonna wash it off real quick. The sides cleaner, they're a little dirty still. Right, and real quickly we'll also do another paper cut test just for everybody. Super sharp. Have to show you guys. It's hard to do because I have a puddle of water sitting on my stone, so I have to be quick about it. But guys, and that is how you get a knife super sharp. This has been Tyler with High Crucible Steels. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.